Welcome back to A Hobby and Development. This is the after action battle report for our Kill Team campaign, Game 1. So this is the after action for Kill Team Game 1. We're doing a narrative play game over the course of the next couple months.
Campaign.
Campaign.
A narrative.
Narrative campaign. Yeah, well, I guess it could be a narrative. So my Tau are the name of their kill team is those who refuse to raise their hands. So they were voluntold that they're going to go fight for the greater good.
Well, they fought like they were voluntold, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the mission or whatnot. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Keegan plays his Imperial Guard.
Yeah, the Unruly Misfits is what I call my
Unruly Misfits
kill team.
So this was game 1. You'll have hopefully watched that before you watch this. If not, feel free to go watch that video so you know what we're talking about. As the results of the end of that game, I lost three intel, I believe it was.
Two intel.
Two
intel points.
2 intel points.
And I got nothing except for denying you intel points.
Denying me intel points. Therefore, you have intel points.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So that doesn't really do anything other than keep track, and there's some things that happen if you run out of a certain resource and whatnot. Right. So a quick overview of the game. If you want to, you can take this one.
Basically it started off, I every turn I got the initiative except for the very last turn where it didn't matter because everyone, I think the only person that you didn't have down was your commander.
Was
you had 3 guys down, and your Cadre Fireblade was left. And then he ended up getting shot in the face anyway.
Yeah.
But it started with me every turn I got the initiative, which helped out for me obviously because I can get down there. I put up my ready tokens is what I need, and I know I can at least get that first shot off, so I can get something that is going to be crucial for you.
Yeah.
Which happened a few times where I got rid of your sniper. I ran up with a melta gun, blasted your leader in the face. There was a lot of oh crap, this is going to happen moments.
Yeah.
And I had Steve. If you see the video, Steve was the save master for a while, so it was a melta gun for a 5+ save. He made an uncanny amount.
Yeah.
It's probably I think he made at least 80% of the saves. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm not really playing, but for a guardsman, he's like wow, I live 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes.
And one thing that I noticed is a lot of people like going first. A lot of people don't like going first in kill team, but it definitely has its advantages going first. Mm-hmm. I usually like going second because you can kind of see where to position things.
Right.
But playing Tau, I know where I need to position things. They're
you sit back.
Yeah, they're very much a backline player.
Yeah.
So
getting the board is so small because you have a 15-inch. Before you have 15 inches before you have to worry about getting negative
30
modifier.
on my sniper.
Yeah.
So going first with Tau is much more sought after because you get that first shot off.
You want to get that alpha strike.
Yeah, and it can in one shot with a good weapon you can take out a model.
Right.
So
yeah. As long as you roll your injury rolls well.
Yeah. This game wasn't as bad as the game that we played last month.
No.
Was still guard versus Tau.
Right, but last time you killed maybe like 2 guys, and everyone else had injuries.
Flesh wounds, it was going to the end. It was 1 flesh wound, 2 flesh wound, and then the next guy would get 1 flesh wound, 2 flesh.
This time around, you actually killed guys.
Yeah, this one was pretty average. So we were, enough flesh wounds. People were dying. Yeah. Pretty good game.
So one thing that was also just literally a slap in the face at this point was when my commissary charged your Cadre Fireblade, flubbed it, and then your Fireblade went.
Yeah. So Tau, who can't fight their way out of a paper bag, somehow the Cadre Fireblade wrecked your commissary.
I wouldn't say wrecked. You only have 1 wound left.
Well, anyway. He wrecked in that they can't fight to save their lives.
Right, because you put a wound on him with a pistol.
Yeah, I whittled him down over the course of all the turns.
Right. The only problem is you couldn't get him off of the objective. Right. So I generated those victory points.
Yeah. So to be completely honest, I don't think I would have been able to win that even if I got up there, because he was a full strength commissar up until the end.
Right, he had up until the last turn? Well, how many turns we had? 5? No, we had 6.
We went
turn 5. He had up until turn 5. He had 3 wounds.
Yeah,
and so you get close to him, he's like, all right.
Yeah, slappy, slap.
I'm gonna smack you around.
And if he was alone, I think that would have been easier because
Right, but I
just
kept
shot
all my
them.
specialists
Yeah.
right around it.
So the closer I got, the more open I would be.
Yeah.
I think that's a downside to Tau.
Well, that's also kind of how I designed it.
Yeah.
Where if you saw how I deployed, the specialists were always covering the commissar.
Yeah.
They're always right there.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, come close.
And I think that downside will be mitigated in future games that we play in this.
But once we get
This
the
campaign.
escalation going,
Right, because our next round is going to be 210 points.
Right.
Plus, you're limited to 12 models in the first game of a campaign.
Yeah.
So now we could
12
theoretically
models
take
plus
up to
your
20.
commander anyway.
Right, plus the commander. So I think it'll be easier to put more models out on the board.
Yes.
Um,
Well, that'll help too, because then you get more volume of fire where you need it
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing, like you get a ton of shots, but you're also not that accurate.
Yeah.
Or I mean, don't get me wrong, I played guard, but I mean, at least I had the scions
Mhm.
to help off balance that because they have the ballistical 3+,
Mhm.
which makes it a lot better.
I think if I could get a couple of lucky shots off there with that fusion blaster, I think I would have had a better chance.
Mhm.
That's what I was trying to do. I was from a safe enough distance. I was just trying to whittle those wounds down
Right.
enough, but it just
Part of
didn't
it,
work.
like when you have your stealth suits, when you already have that already -1, I think you played a little too conservatively with them at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I probably
You should have kept them right next to each other,
Yeah.
and let them just split their fire where they need to
Mhm.
go.
And I did. I think for the first battle round, I forgot about the target lock that I had on my heavy, where I can advance and shoot
And still
without
shoot.
penalty. I think. Well, it only applies to assault.
Burst cannons are
so
assault.
Burst cannons are assault.
So do that. Yeah.
It wouldn't have. I have to check. I don't recall if fusion
And you have the
blaster's
fly
assault.
roll, correct?
Fusion blaster's heavy, so it wouldn't have. Yeah, and I have the fly roll.
So yeah, with the fly roll, it makes it so you like, when my sergeant ran forward and impaled himself on a sentient stick,
Mm-hmm.
fucking sticks. Anyway,
I can fly right over.
yeah,
them.
you can fly right over and not worry.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're a dangerous terrain? I don't care.
But that's okay because everybody that I ran over the dangerous terrain with survived anyways.
Yeah,
Because-
everything why don't you keep everything?
So the first battle round I think was the worst battle round as far as rolling goes. I think we both kind of were just like,
Well, it wasn't too bad for me because I.
oh, that's right. Then we flipped.
and
Your
then we second my
round
second one. I was like, oh
worse.
look, I can't roll anything higher than 1 practically.
Yeah.
Because when it came to saves and like wounding, pretty much wounding, I was like, oh look, here's all those ones.
Yeah.
Because your first one you couldn't wound. Well, there's a couple turns in there you couldn't wound to save your life.
Yeah. Yep. And I think the third battle round was really where it just
balanced
started
out.
being a balanced like slaughterfest.
Yeah.
Like I think by the end of turn 3, if I'm not mistaken, we both had at least 6 models dead.
I had end of turn 3. I had 5.
5?
I had
So, okay,
5.
so I had 6, you had 5.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, with you had more on the board.
No.
On the board left. Because you're guard.
Regard. That's what we do.
Yeah.
War of attrition. All right, go. Yeah. Is this the line for Chow? No, this is the line to die. You're new to the guard, aren't you? Yeah.
So, thought on that particular mission. I've played this mission twice. The last time I played it was in a 4-player game.
Yeah, and but that was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
Yeah, the Overlord, Necron Overlord was like, hi.
Yeah.
And just sitting there, just killing everything on you. But
In that game, I think if Josh, and we talked about this when Josh was on, if he would have prioritized me as more of a target, I think that would have been. I still think
he had a better chance of killing your guys.
I still think the Necrons would have won that because the
resilience.
Yeah, and then the Nids basically splitted their focus, so they were
They made themselves softer for everybody.
they were whittling me down, and so that was that. So basically, this game mode focuses all the action in the center.
Right, it forces you to come in the middle, so that's where you're more resilient. Or like, what would be terrifying to play against is Death Guard.
Yeah.
It'd be I've already played one game against Death Guard with my essentially the same list with the guard, and it came out to be a tie at the very end. But I had like maybe 3 models left, and he had like 4, but they all had flash wounds except for. So yeah, he had only like 4 models left with his leader, and his leader, the biologist Putrefire or whatever the heck it's called, I think that's what the one it was. It's got this plague sprayer that does 2d6 damage or 2d6 hits, and they're automatic hits. Poisoned weapon. His strength 2d6, AP -3, damage 3, 9-inch range. What do you do against that?
I think another tough army in this mission. Again, this is the comms relay or comms down mission in the commander book. You have to take commander missions if you're bringing commanders.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Is a communication relay right in the center of the battlefield, and
you're a fight over it.
At the beginning of each turn, if your commander's there, you gain points.
Yeah.
I think another army that would have been tough against this mission is Thousand Suns. Especially with their hand flamers, they're all as dust. All of them have like a baby smite, I think it is, or it's not smite in this edition.
Because you have the junior sorcerer, and then you bring the other sorcerer on the disc or whatever. Exalted sorcerer.
Is that what it's called?
Cybolt.
Yeah. They're in Tau and Kill Team.
Yeah, Cybolt.
We call it smite because
it's
the same thing. Just the addition.
Yeah.
I think that would have been. I think a really good kill team to play in this might be, or a really bad kill team rather, would be Harlequins, because they have to get up close,
right?
To score, and B to kill.
They're all tough 3 with 5+8.
4+, but again, volume of fire is going to take them down, and they're very expensive.
Because you only have 8 guys, at most.
They're very, very expensive. So you're bringing them really close to the center to basically get mosh pit.
Yeah, the second game of Kill Team I ever played against you, I used my guard against you.
And
I won because all the guys I had.
Yeah, you just surround them.
I just surrounded my commissar, just went to town, just punched them all in the face.
I think the ideal way to play with Harlequins would be to skirt the perimeter, and you take out these troops, go to these troops, you go to these troops, and you make your way to your high priority target.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that really benefited you in this game too, was your ability to make it so every time I spend a command point, it's going to be more. And because I don't have the strategist, and I got the leader, I'm only getting 2. It's like every time I want to use something, oh look, I have no command points again.
So if
there's
you're
a lot
playing,
of things I could have done differently,
exactly,
if I had more command points. Yeah. If you weren't sucking away from me like the succubus.
So that's a level 3 strategist commander tactic. For 2 command points, anytime he uses a command point, you increase its cost by 1 command point.
Yeah.
So that, I think, if you're going to play Kill Team, you need to learn your tactics. They make all the difference.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It helps when you get to use them too.
Yeah, and denying the access to those abilities.
Right.
I
was limited to 1 every turn and had to make sure it counted. Usually it did because I gave it to the sniper for that +1 to hit.
And that's why I took him as strategist, as a level 3. I think I would like him more as a level 4, but it's just a little too expensive.
Yeah, that's why I like my commissar. Yeah. I tried a level 4 before. And it's like it's gratuitous.
Yeah.
So you just need the level 3 and then pay for one of the
traits.
The traits in the beginning, because I did the Blessed by Fortune.
Yep, and
that's what was allowing me to re-roll the ignore wounds on 6.
Okay.
Because that's what
that helped you. That helped you once. You made
because I re-rolled it and made the 6. Because it's that because you have two different rules that do the same thing. That gives you that re-roll for the 1. So like disgusting resilient. Say if you had another thing that gave you on a 5+ or whatever, you could ignore a wound. You would be able to re-roll 1s at that point.
Yeah. So and that's my strategy behind. I picked the strategist so that he gains an extra 1.
Yeah.
Especially because one of them is going to die, the leader or the commander. Someone is going to die. So you always at least get your 3.
For me, I really want to do strategist. I do, but I would have to get rid of the commissar. I think. Well, he might have access to it, but I made the commissar so he's actually on like a space marine level. Because with the fortitude being able to have tough 4, he can take more of a punch and not worry about it. Because most of the basic guns you're getting shot at in Kill Team are 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Except for you.
Except for me, yeah.
Being a jerk over here. So it makes it so he's just that much more survivable.
So that it's increasing his toughness?
It says the level 3 one, I believe. Gives him +1 tough.
Yeah. I think that's very, very helpful against Tau. Yeah. Because my guns are strength 5.
Right. Well, what I also do, he is his one that never came into play because he always did 1 damage weapons against me, is his other ability aside from the ignoring on 6s +1 tough was all the damage done him is halved. And on your leader.
So if I was hitting you successful with my fusion blaster, that would have come into play.
Yeah, it would have come into play. Instead of let's say you roll a 6, you're not killing my guy. He's still going to be standing there with 1 wound, and that. So. It's be able to keep him there because usually when I have command points left over. I can be able to pay 1, and anyone within 6 inches of them automatically passes nerve tests.
And that's really useful.
That would have been crucial.
That would have saved a couple of your guys.
That would have been crucial in this game. But
yeah, and like in a competitive game, it might not be super useful.
No, if it was a competitive game, I wouldn't be using fortitude. It'd be strategist all the way.
But in a narrative game, you want to like, even if you're losing, like I knew after turn 2, I pretty much knew, but the objective isn't necessarily to win. I mean, obviously it's to win the one game, but you got to think long game.
Right, because it's a campaign. You can't just say, all right, well, I punched him in the face, but did you get any resources? Right. What did you do?
Right.
Did all of your guys, actually kill guys, get experience? You got to actually make sure you're doing what you need to do to level up your guys to make them that way.
Especially targeting specialists, because you have a chance of wiping out your specialist.
Right. If you're able to wipe them out, and then you're just pretty much neutering your opponent at that point.
Molly, come here. Good girl. Thoughts on your armies? I know that's what we're just talking about a little bit now. The other army you've been playing is Space Marines?
I've only played one game with them. I got disheartened real quick.
Yeah.
I had the very first game. Of course, didn't know what I was doing with the kill team. Like, I read through the rules and made a kill team real quick. And I went and played against a buddy of mine, another buddy who plays, and he was using Mechanicus. And
they're really good.
And he's got all the radium carbines or whatever.
Radium carbines.
They're all salt 3 on 6s. They're just like, oh god.
Did he bring the
infiltrators,
the Ruststalkers?
Oh yeah. I got my butt handed to me. So I left a bad taste. So like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to my guard.
Yeah, I think the thing with Space Marines is you've got to really, really, really.
Well, they're very generalist.
Yeah, they're very general. So you kind of gotta really be like know what you're doing and how you're gonna play and
stick to it.
Because everything that the Space Marines can do, almost any other Marine army can do, but with their own little
it's not even
twist.
just Marine armies.
Right.
Almost everyone else can do it.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? Sometimes they have more guys than you.
Yeah. Especially when you play guard.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I like about the guard.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with them is just simply like, all right, well, I got this one guardman here. Like, they're just cannon fodder. The only issue I have with it, unless you want to bring a bunch of scions, which not really, because having the few scions here and there is nice. But also, when I say the cannon fodder, like you saw earlier, I had in our game, I had those 2 guardsmen, and those 2 guardsmen run forward and try and get your attention. So I'm trying to take the fire away from my, plasma guns or whatever, because they're right in your face. It worked a couple times, but then they died.
Yeah.
And then you started actually taking out plasma guns, melta guns. I always make sure you can't ignore a melta gun though.
Right.
But really, I've actually liked the way they play quite a bit, the guard.
I like playing against them. It's not a challenge in that I have to worry about getting completely wiped off the board like some other armies.
Right.
But it's a challenge of attrition.
Yeah.
And it's a unique
way.
Can
you kill the right guys?
Can I kill the right guys in the right order and
then make it so now these people are starting to get stunned.
Right.
And I can't fix it without someone like nearby who can give them like an order, use a stratagem, whatever it may be.
In the game we played last month, it's basically the same Tau versus guard. Yeah. It literally was so close to the game. Didn't it come down to like one roll? It was one or 2 rolls.
If I made my save on my commissar.
Yeah, if you made your save on your commissar. Yep.
And I did.
Yep. And he won literally because of one save, and then the mission ended.
Yep.
So
because that was the last turn.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think if it had gone another turn, it, again, could have been anybody's game.
Yeah.
That was the cutthroat. So Tau, I like Tau, but then I don't like Tau. They're very powerful. They've got really good synergies. Their drones can soak wounds. Really good specialist guns like the rail rifle, and your stealth suits are really good.
So what's your issue then?
My issue with them is, and it's not really. It's like a trade-off. I would rather see myself hitting more.
How many points are a Fire Warrior?
Fire Warriors are 8, I believe.
Okay, you see it. You're double my guardsman.
Yeah.
At that point. So
yeah. I think it's 7 for a Pathfinder, if I'm not mistaken, and I want to say 15 for a stealth suit. It's a trade-off. Yeah. I would rather hit more because it's about the volume of fire really that you can successfully get
Especially
in there.
with the fire blade there.
Right. So that's why I use the fire blade. So in a previous game that we played, I used the new crew leader that came out with Blackstone Fortress.
Oh yeah. He makes a good shaper.
Yeah, and
That's what you used against me with your Tau.
right. And you can basically be, I think it was 2 to 3 inches away from anything and always be in cover.
Yeah,
and then stack with stealth. You get -3 to hit him.
It was gross. And that's why I just said screw this and ran forward and punched in the face of my commissar.
Yeah.
I booked it and I saved all my command points to make sure the commissar lived, and I got there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I could see your biggest problem though is you got a volume of fire, but it's really easy for you to get inaccurate.
Yeah. And their redeeming quality is that in Kill Team, at least, it's more about your wound rolls than it is about your hit rolls, because hit rolls stack negatively against everybody.
Yeah,
everybody can get to 5s and 6s super easy.
Yeah.
So
comes down to can you put those wounds on there?
Which is ultimately the reason why I'm staying with Tau as my main kill team, because they're a powerful army.
Yeah.
Again, once we have the ability to do more than 12 troops, so our next game, I'll be bringing some more things like 2 rail rifles.
2 rail rifles, maybe throwing a breacher or something.
Yep, definitely some breachers.
Because that would have benefited you a few times. Yeah. When I got real close.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be wounding better. Mm-hmm. Well, because instead of wounding on 3s, you're going to be punching through. Because a lot of the problem that you had, you couldn't punch through my armor.
Right. Yep.
So I'm just like, all right, it's a 5+, but you know what? I'm still making them.
Yep. And a bunch of times you were negating my saves, which that makes a lot of difference. So yeah,
that's where the Scions come in really handy. Right. Because they're not that much more expensive than the Guard. That's one reason why I like them so much. Got that better ballistic. Mm-hmm. You know, they come with the hot shot lasgun. It's perfect. I mean, going around, it's only 18 inch range.
Right.
But that AP -2 is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And the like drones to soak up wounds, that's a dirty trick, but it's effective.
Yeah.
So I think as the games continue, they're going to be a little more threatening, especially playing escalation.
Yeah.
So other armies, I have Harlequins. I could not play a campaign with Harlequins. I don't have enough of them.
Right.
I would like to.
So we have maybe like 8 or 9 right now.
Yeah. I would like to have enough Harlequins, but I have way too much on my plate to do more Harlequins. Yeah. So I like the Harlequins.
They are literally death jesters.
Yes, they're a one-trick army. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows the Harlequins are going to get up in your face.
Well, really they're ignoring all the terrain.
Yeah, they ignore
terrain. I found out the hard way real quick. I put my sergeants up to go smack them.
Yep.
Oh, maybe not.
3d6 threat range. Yep. But that being said, everybody knows what they're going to do, and anybody who's been around the block a little
back up, wait for you to come to me.
Yep, is going to know how to count them.
Yeah.
But they're fun, and I would like to be able to. I would like to be able to do a campaign with them maybe one day. I'll buy some like pre-painted or something like that. I have the Rogue Trader set, so I've played with the Gellerpox Infected. I played your guard against them. That don't play guard with Gellerpox.
No.
Because they don't have like hardly any shooting. So.
And every time you produce like those little bugs that skittered across and actually flame, I'm like, oh, nope, that needs to die. Quick.
Yeah. The Star Striders, I've played them against Gellerpox in the actual Rogue Trader set. Camera shaking because the dog's prancing across the ground. I can't remember who won that game, Josh or me. I think it might have been a tie game. But they're really good. I'd like to play against...
Somebody's had a lot of specialty kind of weapons.
Yeah, I'd like to play against a normal-sized... or not a normal-sized, another kill team that's not Rogue Trader. Again, with them. They're a lot of pistols, but they're like special pistols.
They're very eccentric,
and like shotguns and a couple, and they've got a couple of really like just dirty tricks. Like I want to say the medic specialist can basically teleport with like 1 or 2 command points.
That's pretty cool.
And the nice thing about them is a few of them have specialists or specialisms, but don't count towards your specialists.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you could have, for example, I had a leader.
That was annoying, Matt.
Yes, it would. I'll cut that part off. So one of was it the voidsman with the heavy weapon? I made obviously a heavy specialist, and then I ended up having like 5, 6 specialists,
Yeah.
but they didn't count. What else have I played? I did play AdMech once against Yukon, and I got obliterated by the beginning of turn 2.
He was using orcs, wasn't he?
He was using orcs, and
He just brought as many boys as possible.
actually he didn't. The problem in that game was, and I kid you not, I rolled consistently 1s and 2s the entire game.
Yeah.
Yukon will even admit that game was a bad game, because
it happens.
Yeah, they can hit on 3s. I was rolling 1s and 2s. It was a bad game.
Yeah.
So that put kind of a bad taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But as you know, because you've played against them, they can be brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I do need to get some of the melee.
There was nothing against that game I played with my Space Marines against mechanics. There was nothing I could do by the beginning. I went first on the beginning of turn 3. I'm like, I got like 2 guys left. I don't know what I'm doing.
So I have them. They're not painted right now. I think I'm just going to sell them and get rid of them and use the money for other stuff.
Yeah, get more like Harlequins
or
maybe your Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah, my Gene Stealer cults. Because hey, if I
here's the thing:
I could play Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah, and they have all the same freaking weapons for close combat that they do in the actual codex.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are gross.
Mm-hmm.
You're a plague marine with this many wounds, and you got this. I don't care. I rolled a 6. You're just slain. Get off the board.
And I think that's it. I don't think I played with any other armies. I did experiment a little bit with Josh's Dark Eldar, and we kind of switched and he played Harlequins.
Change each other's armies, so you helps you get a better feel for it too, so you know what to expect after you play someone else's army.
Yeah, I wanted him to play Harlequins so he could figure out how to beat them.
Right. Well, that's because you're going to understand what they can do, and
I didn't really learn much about his army per se because he just didn't have all the right models that I would have taken.
To me, it's just like Eldar, different flavor. They're still fast. They still hit in close combat.
Yep. And the last thing, campaign versus competitive play. What are your thoughts?
Oh, campaign all the way. I think it'd be better. It's just better in terms of, you're not gonna be frustrated. You're not dogged for time like you're in competitive play. You're gonna get those cutthroat people that are gonna be like, oh, you gotta do this combo and do this and that and whatever, and it's just a whole lot more of a headache with a campaign, at least. And competitive, it's just they're one-off games.
Right.
With a campaign, we build like next time we have the 210-point game, we get more resources out of it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot better in terms of having fun. And then how many rounds does a campaign usually go? Like 8.
It can go
as many as you want.
I mean, we started at 8. I think if you wanted like quicker campaign, you start at 4 points all across. But technically, if you won, I won, you won, I won, we could have a year-long campaign.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the fun thing, because then it's just not a one-off game. It's like, oh, I got this guy who went on convalescence, he's missed this game. Crap, I gotta get him back. It's like bringing. I don't know if you ever played the old Necromunda.
No, but I've watched people play.
Yeah, when I played, I had a gang. You get attached with them, you give them their names, they get this special injury. Like, oh, my right arm's all gimp now. I can't. I can barely shoot. You get like -1 to hit or whatever. It has that same kind of nostalgia and feeling if you do a campaign with Kilty.
Right.
And it's nice.
Right.
It makes it more invested. It's like, oh, I got to play this game. I can't wait to play. Where one off, like, well, I'll play a game.
I 100% agree with every point you just made. The only addition I have is it unlocks the rest of the book.
Right.
So there
half
are
the book is lucky.
Yeah, there are additional abilities that we're not going to be able to play with any of those additional abilities to game 3. We're gonna unlock them at the end of next game. But you can't.
I think we'll have the actual board size.
Right. You can't actually. I guess you could technically play a competitive game with them with it like a gentleman's agreement, like, hey, let's use this ability, house rule type of thing. But
like for house rule, sorry to interrupt real quick, but house rule, like we did it for 40K. Yeah. And they came out with the Cities of Death rules.
Yeah.
And now it's in Urban Conquest. We just put that in the game. Because it's like, all right, why weren't we doing this?
Yeah, it's because it's cool and it adds more to the game.
It makes it more balanced.
Yeah, but in a pure sense of campaign versus competitive, you're getting more abilities and just having more fun.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting a lot more, like you said. You're using the other half of the book. Yeah. Because half the book is like, oh, here's all this stuff for campaign, and then what you're doing one game, you're just ignoring it, and you don't get to have, because it adds more dynamic to it too.
Yep.
Because instead of having just a specialist, all of a sudden now you've got your weedy cannon fodder guys, your chaff that actually start getting abilities too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing where they're having these little cards in there is going to come in handy, and also battle sprite keeps track for you too.
Yeah, and I think the last thing about campaign game, and you sort of touched on it, I think, but you get attached.
Yeah.
To your guys.
So
So
the best of it. Yeah.
it's a 1. You have to roll 1 on a d10 at the end of the game for them to actually be killed forever.
Right.
But
They can come back with flesh wounds,
Right.
and all that. Yeah.
But you could theoretically spend 4 or 5 games building up your perfect strategist, or your perfect, not strategist because commanders can't die, but you could spend it on, like, let's say your sniper or your
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you just
And he's dead.
drop him with melting and go vaporize.
Yeah, and then you roll a 1 on a d10 and he's gone.
Like, yeah, you just had this guy and like, no, I put in all this work.
Malik, come over here.
Right, when you put in all that work, then it's like, oh, it's gonna hit you harder.
Yeah.
Too, you're gonna be because right now, like the first game, someone died and you think about whatever.
Yeah.
He was still kind of a rookie anyway. You know?
So I guess to roll off that, an additional is commanders or just regular kill team.
Commanders make it a lot better.
I
if you
agree.
ask me.
It does make the games a little bit longer. Not much. I think we just
Well, like for us, because we're
Yeah,
filming.
we're
and whatnot, but
filming.
If you're just out down at the barn playing or whatever, yeah, a game goes by 45 minutes,
Yeah.
hour and a half.
yeah.
Depending on how much we want to sit there talking, maybe imbibing some alcohol, whatever.
Yeah. But I definitely think it adds. I think it adds balance.
Yes. Well, because you have some of the armies where, like I'm going to fall back to death card here. Even without the commander, they're tough, they're brutal, and they're hard to deal with. But then once you add in your own commander that has got its abilities, it makes it so it's easier to deal with some of their toughness.
And alternatively, especially in a campaign where you can have a few commanders, you can only have one of each type, but you can, with 200 points, you have a lot more room. Because let's be honest, with 100-point games, it's very much like there's only a few things you can do.
Yeah.
But with 200 points, you can spend all of that on a commander. Or because you pick your kill team that you're going to play after you choose the mission.
Right.
So you can custom tailor, like let's say...
To that mission.
Right. I only had 12 dudes in this game, but the next game, like let's say we were to get this same mission, I could bring theoretically a cheaper commander with more people to support.
Well, that way you could actually directly combat my game of attrition.
Right.
Because hey, look, I only got like 1 or 2 guys less than you this time, and my guns are better.
Yeah. So it says you have to bring a commander, but it doesn't say you have to spend a lot of money.
Right, you can bring a cheap. Well, look at my commissar. He's
Yeah.
level 3, and he's only 3 or 65 points. So, and then that just opens up. All right, well, I get a ton more guards.
Yeah, fill in more.
Yeah.
So I think it adds a lot more.
Yeah.
To it, especially in escalation.
Yeah.
So, so I think that's pretty much it on the after action for this game. So look in the future, a couple weeks, maybe next month. I got a whole bunch of other stuff planned, but we're definitely going to be continuing this series either here or at the barn.
Yep.
And we'll see you in the next video.